Can everyone please rise while we recite the council prayer? Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Elliott.
Here.
Councilor Kazandrian.
Here.
Councilor Lenzi.
Here.
Councilor Martin. Here. Councilor Armand Mercia.
Here.
Councilor Rita Mercia.
Here.
Councilor Milanazzo.
Here.
Councilor Broderick.
Here.
Mayor Caulfield.
Here.
9 present.
The chair would like to recognize Councilor Michael Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to offer a moment of silence and darken the chambers for John L. Durkin, Sr., retired Sullivan Brothers pressman, who passed away Sunday at Saints Medical Center with his family at his side. He was the husband of the late Mary Durkin, who died in 1982. John was born in Lowell on August 1st, 1918, one of 9 children of the late James and Margaret Daly Durkin. John was a graduate of the Sacred Heart Grammar School and Lowell High School. Mr. Durkin was an Army veteran of World War II, serving at Fort DeRussell, Hawaii. He married Mary in 1946 at the Sacred Heart Church, and together they celebrated 36 years of marriage. We'll miss him very dearly.
Can we all rise for darkened chambers for Mr. Durkin, please? Thank you. May he rest in peace. The chair would entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Broderick, and place them on file. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The minutes have been accepted and placed on file. Communications from Manager Lynch. Anyone like to discuss any communications from Manager Lynch? Councilor Rita Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager. Although it perhaps was not on this immediate packet, people are concerned about the opening of the University Avenue Bridge. Do we have any idea? Because I thought it would be around Christmas time or before. Could we get some sort of an idea? I know it's hard to predict, but...
The council, that was it was the plan by the contractor to have that actually open by today.
Yes.
But given the weather conditions of the past week,
Yes.
that has delayed them by a few days, but it should still be open by the end of the year.
Sure. By the, what of the year?
The end of the year.
The end of the year. Oh, I thought you were going to say the middle of next year, but okay, by the end of the year.
That's still the
and I
plan.
just have one more thing, if you'll please just let me say this briefly, because on the way over here, people were concerned about the Gallagher Square, the reconfiguration and stuff like that, because you got Thorndike Street, Central Street, coming out into Gorham Street, as well as an exit off the connector coming in to head into South Lowell. I know that it's still early yet, but as of right now, is there any type of a temporary fix we can get with signalization or temporary lights or something to make it a little bit easier for people to traverse about?
That's a state project.
Yes,
That's
I
not
know
under-
that. I know it
under-
isn't ours, but...
So, but we will communicate with the state and
Please
see if there's
communicate.
something that can be
And
done.
if you could find out as well, are they going to put lights there when the thing is finally over? Are they going to put signals there at the end of this? Because, you know, if we wait till the project is done and they're gone, and we say, gee, we should have had lights here, it's too late then.
Right. What I'll do, Counselor, is I'll have a full report for you, and I'll get that
Okay.
out to you.
That'd be fine. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone? Councilor Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That'd be great, because I think I asked that maybe a couple of weeks ago, a couple of meetings ago.
Right.
I got somewhat of a report, but I didn't get a full report. So if we get a full report on that, it would really help out, because I'm still get some phone calls
Sure.
of what's going on there.
Okay, I know we gave you a status report on some of that, but what we'll do is we'll
Right,
get
I know it
a
was a
full
state
report of
project
the...
and this and that, but Councilor Rita Mercia brought up some good points that if we can get a full report, it would really help us out, because like I said, we're getting the phone calls and we can answer the questions.
It may make sense to, even I'll work with the DPD to get a presentation for the council on all of the plans for that area, for the traffic improvements.
Okay, thank you. One other thing, Mr. Mayor, is on a personal note. Our weekend retreat, do we have a date set for that? Going to-
I was checking my schedule to see. I think
After
the sooner the
the-
better, I think, would be great,
After the
Counselor.
holidays, I'm free, so.
All right.
Is there anyone else who'd like to discuss communications? If not, the mayor would like to. I filed a motion maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and for Manager Lynch to emulate the same program as Mayor Menino in Boston to help people with their heating oil and housing assistance. And the manager and I and Council Rita Mercer attended a wonderful press conference at the Songus Arena last Thursday, and we owe a great deal of thanks to United Way of the Merrimack Valley. They presented a check to Community Teamwork Incorporated for $40,000 for heating assistance, and also $15,000 to the Merrimack Valley Food Bank. And the manager and I and Council Mercer and many people who attended thanked them immensely. And I want to accept this communication, place it on file
Yes.
by Council Rita Mercier. Also, the mayor's office, on behalf of the mayor and the entire city council and the Lynch administration, we received a beautiful thank you from town manager Paul Cohen from the town of Chelmsford, thanking us for our assistance to those people in Chelmsford who needed shelter during the ice storm a couple weeks ago. Accept that communication, place it on file by Council Broderick, second by Council Elliott. Is there anything else on the communications you'd like to discuss? Accept all those communications and place them on file by Council Alakazan, seconded by Council Lindsay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Those communications are accepted and placed on file. Moving on with the agenda, we have one communication from the city manager requesting approval of out-of-state travel for Assistant City Manager Adam Backey, who's going to be traveling, I believe, to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Any discussion? Council Miller?
I believe we have two, Mr. Mayor.
Two. The other one is,
The other one is for
From
the
the
Battered
police
Women's
department.
Justice Program from the Police Department.
Oh, okay, then I'm sorry. We have two requests. Council Elliott?
Mr. Manager, both of these requests for travel, there are no city dollars being used for this. Is that correct? I mean, that's what, both
is-
these communications, they're coming out of the grant funds, and there's no cost to the city with this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're right, Council Milonazo, there is another request for the police department. Any discussion or debate on this particular request? Roll call.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Kazanjian,
Yes,
Counselor Lenzi.
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Rita Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield,
Yes.
9 yeas.
Moving on with the agenda, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to enter into a lease agreement with Ansher Gould, Middlesex Dental Care for property located at Unit 4, 135 Middlesex Street, Lowell, Massachusetts, in the Edward J. Early Parking Facility. Motion to waive the full reading by Council Milonazo, seconded by Council Martin. All in favor of waiving the full reading indicate by saying aye, and anyone opposed. Second reading by title, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to enter into a lease agreement with Ensure Gould, Middlesex Dental Care for property located at Unit Number 4, 135 Middlesex Street, Lowell, Massachusetts, in the Edward J. Early Parking Facility. Any discussion or debate? Roll call.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Kazanjian,
yes,
Counselor Lenzi.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Arman Mercia.
Yes.
Counselor Rita Mercia.
yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Moving on with the agenda, authorizing the city manager to allow Household Finance Corporation to mortgage holder of its attorney Nathalie K. Solomon, Esquire of Harmon Law Offices, P.C., to redeem the property situated at 37 Winthrop Avenue, Lowell, Massachusetts, acquired by the city of Lowell by final judgment, tax lien case number 07-TL134977, dated July 25, 2006, recorded Middlesex North, District Registry of Deeds, Book 20391, page 39. Motion to waive the full reading by Council Arman Mercier, seconded by Council Alakazan. All in favor signify by saying aye. Full reading's been waived. Vote authorizing the city manager to allow Household Finance Corporation to mortgage holder by its attorney Natalie K. Solomon Esquire of Harmon Law Offices, P.C., to redeem the property Situate 37 Winthrop Avenue, Lowell, Massachusetts, acquired by the city of Lowell by final judgment in tax lien case number 07-TL-134977, dated July 25th, 2006, recorded in Middlesex North District Registry of Deeds, Book 20391, page 39. Any discussion or debate?
Yes.
Council Rita Mercy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When we see something like this, it seems like a homeowner has it and wants to retain it. This, to me, seems like it's a household finance corporation that lost it and wants to retain it. How am I reading this?
I'll ask CFO to respond to that.
Councilor, if you remember, this came before you a couple of months back, and it was Household Finance that requested to redeem the property. We went back to Household Finance and told them no, unless and until they worked out an agreement with the former deed holder, allowing them to stay in and to make payments. So this is really a rework of their mortgage. Household will hold a lien on the property, but allow the property holder to make payments and stay in the house.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I thought it was the household finance that lost it and was retaining it, and I'm thinking, wouldn't they have the money to keep it in the first place? But in this situation, that's a good thing, and I like to see more of this coming before us. Thank you.
Council Elliott?
Thank you, Mayor. I agree. I had the same question, Mr. Manager, or Mr. Moses. Approximately, do we have any others that will go this route, or is it just based on, individual by individual or corporation by corporation basis?
Well, with the new regulations in place, it will be interesting to see how many of them come before us and get resolved before they get to council. But this is one where we actually had foreclosed on the property holder, and the bank wanted to grab it out from under the former owner. That may happen in the future with properties that we already own, but it's usually the property owner that works out financing and comes back to us and says, we'd like to pay you everything we owe you if you'll give the house back to us. And we always say yes, or at least we always bring it in front of the council, and the council has always said yes.
Right. Why did the mortgage holder, take this route this time rather than just the way that
In this
household
case,
finance wanted to pursue this?
I can't speak for household finance. I don't know what their motivations are, but they wouldn't have done it if it weren't in their financial interest to try.
Approximately how many other foreclosures are we looking at just this fiscal year?
I can tell you that there's a new database that the state has opened up, and I checked that database, I believe last Friday, and it only listed about 6 or 7 properties that were foreclosed by banks and put up for auction in Lowell over the past 6 months. However, we have begun registering bank-owned properties, and we have far more than that.
How many do we have, Mr. Moses?
Offhand, I don't know.
I think Mr. Sheehan had some information on that.
I'm just, and I'm looking at, this is being redeemed for the sum of, over $20,000, which is a very good thing. I'm just curious, cumulative, how much revenue is outstanding.
Council, if you recall, the council adopted an ordinance on regarding vacant and foreclosing properties. I believe it was in May, and since that time, the Inspectional Services Department has identified about 270 foreclosed or vacant properties in the city. It's not an absolute precise number, but it's that ballpark.
Okay, thank you.
Council Bill Martin and then Council Kazanjian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just point out that since our adoption of that ordinance now, the Registry of Deeds has developed a informational form, and they provide it to people whenever there's a foreclosure deed recorded. So at least they're assisting in attempts to get lenders to comply with the new ordinance.
Council Kazanjian?
Thank you, Mayor. We're going to work this out with the Household Finance Corporation, and they're going to leave the owner or the previous owner in there as a tenant. Do we have a time frame on that? Is it a year, 2 years? Is there anything?
I do not have the detail or the information between the private party and Household Finance. However, the agreement was reviewed by the law department, and they were satisfied that there was sufficient security for the owner.
Okay, I just don't want to, in 6 months, that the owners have to move out. I mean, if there's a time frame in there, and,
No, it's longer than 6 months.
okay.
It will be dependent, of course, on continued payment, just like any other mortgage.
Well, if they make the payment, so are they going to be able to stay there for a year? Do we have any idea?
I think it's like any other mortgage, as long as they keep up with the
Right.
it's basically, it's not a lease, it's a
Right.
mortgage payment. So as long as
Okay.
they keep up to the terms of the mortgage,
Then they'll be able to stay there.
able to stay there
Okay.
until they own the home.
All right, great. Okay, good. Okay.
Council Milonazo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, I do have a motion on asking for a report on the enforcement activities as a result of the foreclosure and abandoned property ordinance that was passed. And we did, when I say we, the Foreclosure Prevention Task Force did get a report from Commissioner Camacho back in November 12th, where he did report that 16 properties have registered with the $100 registration fee, and that they had sent out 55 property notices to properties that had been foreclosed. But based on the database that Mr. Sheehan talked about, the 270 numbers, which Dick Howe Jr. from the registry has indicated that's about the number as well. So again, I don't know if we want to take the motion up now, but basically I'm just looking for an update relative to how we're doing with the enforcement, because it's now $300 per week can be assessed on properties that are not being maintained by either the bank or whoever owns the property once it has either been abandoned or foreclosed. The other thing specifically with this vote, in reading this vote, I can't honestly tell that the property owner is actually staying in the property. To me, as Councilor Rita Mercier indicated, it looks like Household is paying the back taxes and taking the property back. Now, dealing with the law firm that's representing Household, having dealt with that law firm in the past, I have to tell you, again, putting my hat on as a member of the Foreclosure Prevention Task Force, not representing anybody but myself, they're not the most responsible law firm to deal with. I don't know how you have found them dealing with this particular case here. I'm happy to see that you came to a solution here, but this law firm is involved in hundreds, if not thousands, of these types of modifications that unfortunately results aren't as forthcoming as this one. And again, I can't tell from reading this vote that the property owners are still actually in the property. So again, I'll vote in favor of this because the city's getting their taxes, interest, and expenses back, but I'm not sure that the people are actually living in the property.
Councilor, if we can take a roll call vote on this particular issue, and then we'll take your motion out of sequence.
sure.
While it's fresh in everyone's mind?
Fine.
Okay. Roll call on what was just presented to the body.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian?
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Arman Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Motion by Council Rita Mercia, seconded by Council Bill Martin to take Council Jim Milonazo's motion out of sequence. All in favor? Signify by saying aye. This is the motion presented by Council Milonazo. City Council requests the city manager to report on the enforcement activities being carried out under the foreclosure abandoned property ordinance, seconded by Council Elliott. On the motion.
Thank you. I'll be brief. Again, back November 12th, we did receive a memo from Commissioner Camacho indicating that 55 notices had been delivered to property owners. They were setting up site visits as of this date. I don't know, the members of the task force don't know the result of those site visits and whether or not the $300 per week, which is now the fine that we can now impose, has started to be put in place. So again, I think it's something that we should do. We should be aggressive in finding property owners that are not being responsible either with abandoned and/or foreclosed properties. So that's the report I'm looking for, and again, it's a way for the city to generate some obviously needed revenue. We have, again, I don't know if this number's current, but as of the date of this memo, we had taken in $1,600 in registration fees since the ordinance went into place. Thank you.
Any discussion on the motion presented by Councilor Milonazo? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Moving on with the agenda. And I'm going to read this, this next article because I think it's very nice of these people to do this. Authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to accept a gift from the Commonwealth Avenue Playground Committee at Duchamp Park of $600 to the city of Lowell. Whereas the Commonwealth Avenue Playground Committee at Duchamp Park desires to donate $600 to our Parks Department. And whereas the city of Lowell desires to accept the gift of said $600 to be utilized to purchase heavy rubber area mats for Duchamp Park in the city of Lowell. Now therefore be it voted that the city manager be and he is hereby authorized in the name of the city of Lowell to accept a gift from the Commonwealth Avenue Playground Committee at Duchamp Park of $600 to purchase heavy rubber area mats for Duchamp Park in the city of Lowell pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A. Be it further voted that we, the members of the City Council of the city of Lowell, jointly and severally do hereby commend and officially thank the Commonwealth Avenue Playground Committee at Duchamp Park for their generosity displayed in donating the aforesaid gift to the city of Lowell for the use by the Parks Department. Second reading by title. Vote authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to accept a gift from Commonwealth Avenue Playground Committee at Duchamp Park of $600 to the city of Lowell. Any discussion on this wonderful gift by the council? And before we take a roll call on this, they also donated a large sum of money to the Lowell Sun Santa Fund. So we applaud them and thank them. Mr. Manager, can you just send a nice thank you to that wonderful committee? Roll call.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian?
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Arman Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia?
Yes, and thank you.
Councilor Milonazo?
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
9 yeas.
And the next article is another nice gesture, authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Lowell to accept a gift from the executors of the estate of Henry J. Fanian Jr. in the amount of $1,000 for use by the Council on Aging of the city of Lowell. Whereas in accordance of the last will and testament of Henry J. Fanian Jr., the Lowell Senior Center is named to receive a bequest of $1,000 for use by the Council on Aging of the city of Lowell. Motion to waive the full reading by Councilor Bill Martin, seconded by Councilor Al Kazanjian. All in favor of waiving the full reading signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Second reading by title, authorizing the city manager of the city of Lowell to accept a gift from the executors of the estate of Henry J. Fanian Jr. in the amount of $1,000 for use by the Council on Aging of the city of Lowell. Any discussion on this particular? Roll call.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian?
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Arman Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia?
Yes, and thank you.
Councilor Milonazo?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Vote authorizing the city manager to execute an electric easement, a water line easement, a sewer line easement, and a no-build zone easement from the city of Lowell to Tremont Yard LLC for property located at 300 Martin Luther King Way, Jr. This is extensive. A motion to waive the full reading by Councilor Lindsay, seconded by Councilor Broderick. All in favor of waiving the full reading signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The full reading has been waived. Second reading by title, authorizing the city manager to execute an electric easement, a water line easement, a sewer line easement, and a no-build zone easement from the city of Lowell to Tremont Yard LLC for property located at 300 Martin Luther King Jr. Way, Lowell, Mass. Any questions, any debate on this particular request? If none, vote.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Kazanjian?
Present.
Councilor Lenzi?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Present.
Councilor Arman Mercia?
Present.
Councilor Rita Mercia?
Oh, I'm here. Yes.
Councilor Milonazo?
Present.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield?
Yes.
5 yeas, 4 present.
These next two articles will be going to a public hearing if the council
Mr. Mayor,
wishes.
is
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, go
Is
ahead.
that, does it need 6 votes to pass, or is 5 sufficient there?
I believe it's 5.
Okay. right, just curious.
Mr. Solicitor, five? Okay.
Thank you.
If you need 6, I'm going to change my vote. These next 2 articles will be going to a public hearing if the council wishes to do so on January 13th, and I'll read the first one. An ordinance amending the new code of ordinances for the city of Lowell, Massachusetts, the code by adding to Chapter 104, new Article 4 regarding pit bulls. Motion to waive the full reading by Council Broderick, seconded by Council Elliott. Second reading by title, an ordinance amending the new code of ordinances for the city of Lowell, Massachusetts, the code by adding to Chapter 104, a new Article 4 regarding pit bulls. Be going to a public hearing January 13th. The council approves?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
could that also get referred to the Public Safety Subcommittee like the other ordinance had before it?
If
If
that's
my
what you-
colleagues wouldn't
That's what
mind.
you like, council? Yes.
Again, the other,
Motion to refer that to the Public Safety Subcommittee, seconded by Council Elliott. All in favor of the motion presented by Councilor Milonazo, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries, and that will be referred to the Public Safety Subcommittee.
thank you.
So therefore, there won't be a public hearing.
Again, I'll schedule it prior to the ad running for the public hearing, so I think we can still, like we had done for the last vicious and potentially vicious dog ordinance, we had the Public Safety Subcommittee, then the hearing.
There's an ordinance coming up at 7.
Correct.
Vicious dogs.
Correct.
And this is to amend that ordinance.
Correct. And as you recall, the vicious dog ordinance did go to the Public
Yes,
Safety
it did.
Subcommittee, so I just
Yes.
thought, to be consistent, we should probably
Sure.
send this one as well.
Okay. And the motion was voted on and supported. The next article, the last article on the manager's agenda, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lowell, Massachusetts, with respect to Appendix A thereof entitled Lowell Zoning Ordinance by extending existing R&R zoning district to include 19 Columbia Street in Lowell. Motion to waive the full reading by Councilor Martin, seconded by Councilor Armin Mercia. All in favor of waiving the full reading, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The full reading has been waived. Ordinance. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, City of Lowell, Massachusetts, with respect to Appendix A thereof entitled Lowell Zoning Ordinance by extending existing R&R zoning district to include 19 Columbia Street in Lowell. That will be going to a public hearing January 13th.
To the planning board,
Oh, I'm sorry.
planning board
It'll be going to the planning board.
for report and recommendation. Public hearing.
We are entering the public hearing portion of our meeting, and the first article on the public hearing docket is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lowell as amended with respect to Chapter 4 thereof entitled Animal, article entitled Regulations of Dogs by modifying and adding additional regulations regarding dangerous or vicious dogs and other changes. Anyone who would like to come to the podium and speak in favor of this ordinance, please give us your name and address, please. Those wishing to speak in favor? In favor? Yes.
Jill O'Connell. I'm actually the executive director of the Lowell Humane Society. My residence is in Haverhill, Mass., so it's not a Lowell residence, but do play a big role in the city of Lowell as far as dogs go. I just wanted to commend the city council members for actually doing some research and coming up with this ordinance. It is actually based on an ordinance that was created both in Methuen, in the city of Methuen, and as well as the city of Haverhill. And it's a pretty good, well-written ordinance that covers what needs to be covered, and that's the fact of vicious dogs and not being breed specific and not covering things that aren't going to be able to be enforced. I think what the City Council does need to really keep in mind with this particular ordinance is the key to having an ordinance like this work is going to be having the manpower that's going to be able to enforce the ordinance. There's a lot of restrictions in there, there's a lot of things that will really help the city, but you have to have the manpower, and if that's just your animal control officers, you make sure that they have the time and the ability to be able to enforce this. Otherwise, it's just something on paper that's not going to do a bit of difference. It has the ability to be a really great ordinance and really do what the city needs it to do, but it does have to be enforced there. I also wanted to recommend myself to be nominated for the Animal Advisory Committee. It's something that I would like to be a part of, so if someone wanted to make note of that and keep that in mind. And for any further additions to this particular ordinance, I think it would be great that the Animal Advisory Committee be involved with changing anything to this particular ordinance once this one is passed, if it's passed. Additions or changes, I think, would be really good to be made by the Animal Advisory Committee that's fully involved with the ordinance and kind of knows what's going on in the city as far as the dogs go. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to come to the podium to speak in favor?
Hi, my name is Mike Kiley. I'm the manager of the MSPCA at Nevins Farm in Methuen. Also not a resident of Lowell, but I have actually sat on both of the boards for the adoption of these similar amendments in both Methuen and in Haverhill, and certainly, again, commend you guys for taking a proactive response to dangerous dogs. And I think the strength of this one, again, is the enforcement and the ability for the animal control officers to take this to the letter of the law and enforce it correctly. The only one that I might make a recommendation on that we've talked about both in Methuen and Haverhill to be aware of is there is a portion of that recommends when an animal is determined to be dangerous that one of the options be banishment. And I would just caution the City Council about that. We've talked many times in both Methuen and Haverhill about banishing a dangerous dog to another city or town really is sort of passing the responsibility onto another town to have to deal with. So it would be would just be recommending to take a look at that and use that cautiously if it does stay in the amendments. One of the things that I obviously will be coming up at a later point, but I think the other thing I would recommend is really staying away from breed-specific legislation, as it looks like pit bulls will be coming up as an issue. Certainly, I would love to talk to you about that, and our work with that through the MSPCA and our advocacy department has worked on that Massachusetts-wide. And there's a lot of folly that's involved with making pit bull-specific laws that we would caution you about. Both in Lawrence, I did work with the city of Lawrence, and they actually had their pit bull laws repealed because it was deemed to be unlawful. And in Haverhill, they actually just repealed their muzzle law for pit bulls, which actually gave the freedom to the animal control officers to do a lot more work and actually allowed us to not have a conflict with them with our law enforcement agents having to require the muzzles to come off for the animals to breathe correctly. So it's something that I just certainly caution people when that comes up. We certainly will be here and represent the MSPCA for that topic. But in terms of the regulations for the dangerous dog parts, I think the only slight change might be the banishment of pit bulls, of dangerous dogs to other cities and towns.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Crystal Arnott, 20 Kinsman Street, and president of Lowell Unleashed, the Responsible Dog Owners Association here in Lowell. I just wanted to say you guys did a great job with this ordinance that's on the table tonight. I was really impressed. I was worried when I heard about it, and reading through it, I really like what I see. And I just want to throw it out there that I would love to be also on the Animal Advisory Committee. I think it would be important for a resident of the city and a responsible dog owner to be part of that. And I look forward to hearing what happens next week at the next meeting, at the next pit bull muzzling meeting. All right? Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Mark Lynch, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. Mark Lynch, 615 Beacon Street. I'm also a member of CNAG, and the reason I became a member of CNAG was because my dog's been attacked by unleashed dogs in the city 3 or 4 times, just in my neighborhood. I want to thank the City Council for adopting this ordinance, and I also would like to echo the sentiments of everybody else and caution against breed-specific legislation. I could go on and cite different states and towns that have tried this and it hasn't worked. I think that if we, or the city and the police department and animal control are given the money and the manpower to enforce the leash law that's already on the books and this new piece of legislation, there'll be no breed-specific legislation needed because a vicious dog can be a poodle just like it can be a pit bull. Granted, it might be a little different, but it's pretty much the same. This affects me every day, and I want to thank you guys for adopting this.
Anyone else like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the public hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Public hearing is closed. What is the wish of the body?
I'm concerned about what the gentleman said about banishment. Where is this in this ordinance? Do we know where this is specifically?
There's this ordinance that's before you, and then there's an amendment to this
Oh,
ordinance coming up.
it's not in this ordinance right now.
No.
It is? It is. Can you tell me where it is? I want to know where you see that, because maybe we can make an amendment and support the ordinance, but they have a legitimate concern with banishment. What does that mean when you banish someone from the city? You put them out in another city?
Essentially, the problem we've had with this in most of the...
It's got to go to the microphone. It has to go to the microphone.
Right.
Sir,
They have them go out to the
can
city.
you go to the microphone so
Yeah, let's talk about this, because
Solicitor David Fenton can probably also weigh in on this issue.
Sure. I guess the issue that we've seen has been that banishment, what we found, and actually this has been well represented in a recent case in Lawrence with two pit bulls that have attacked a chow mix. The person actually...
Could you just back up?
Oh,
You
sure.
said two pit bulls attacked a what?
They attacked another dog, a chow,
Oh, I thought
chow
you said
mix.
a
Sorry.
child.
Not a child, sorry. No, a chow mix. And the person, in an effort to avoid the dangerous dog tag in Lawrence, which has a very different ordinance, essentially planned to move the dog to Salem, New Hampshire, where their cousin lives, or they have another property. And the banishment part is an option, certainly in that city, where the chief of police luckily dismissed that as a possibility. And I guess the problem is that what happens with that is there's not a good system put into place where another town would be aware that a dangerous dog would be entering their city, and without that ability, then all it really allows people to do is to avoid the dangerous dog laws, and what the ramifications are of that is to move them from town to town, and eventually they'll come back into Lowell probably. They'll move them into another city for 6 months, a year, and then they'll sneak them back in to another residence. And as much as euthanasia is a very difficult part for any person, I think we would strongly recommend euthanasia being the final outcome for a dangerous dog if it needed to be, if it needed to come to that, if they could not go into and handle the responsibilities of having a dangerous dog. And I don't think it's responsible for them to move it on to another person or town.
Can you please tell me where in this ordinance it is?
It looks like it's on page 4 on this copy that I have. It's section C under section 4-37.
Right,
It's
section
listed as
section
number 5,
C.
section C.
Section C.
Section C, it reads, if I could...
Go ahead.
It reads, owners of dangerous or vicious dogs found within the city of Lowell and not properly registered, that's important, shall be subject to a fine of $50. Said animal shall be forever banned by the animal control officer within the city limits unless the owner within 10 days of said finding registers said dog.
Right, unless the owner
Registers the dog.
agrees to the...
Correct.
Right.
So that's basically if they don't agree to the banishment is the only outcome for that, and I would strongly recommend that that euthanasia be considered instead, rather than all you're really giving an option is if they don't register that animal, then they move the animal to another city or town. Is the way I read that.
I would ask...
I would just like to say that Solicitor David Fenton has worked tirelessly on this ordinance.
Sure.
And I really want to personally thank him. The entire council wants to thank Solicitor Fenton. Solicitor Fenton, would you like to weigh in on this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, we don't prohibit or banish dogs from the city of Lowell. What we say is if they don't comply with the registration requirements, that the dog shall not be kept in the city of Lowell until, number one, they pay the fine, and number two, that they properly register the dog here in the city of Lowell. So I see nothing wrong with, and I think I would recommend that we keep the language that's in the ordinance as it presently reads.
And the only suggestion I might make is that it doesn't really leave, the way that I read it and the way that it would probably be interpreted would be that it really only leaves leeway of they either register or the animal gets banned. And banishment, my understanding would be that the animal would have to be moved out of the city of Lowell. And it doesn't really, what I've seen work in other cities with Lawrence specifically is If the person doesn't register it, then then someone gets to make the decision about the outcome of the animal, and whether that's the chief of police or whoever the most appropriate person for that decision to be would be allowed to make the choice of what happens with the animal if they choose not to comply with the regulations that are put forth. And I just think it limits it if you say the only option that you have is banishment as opposed to a decision. And maybe that's a decision for the chief of police. Maybe that's a decision for this committee that's created.
No, it isn't a decision for the committee to make.
Okay.
No.
But I think someone should help make that decision, because I think banishment, unfortunately, is essentially the equivalent of passing on a problem to another place.
So you indicated that they had this issue in Lawrence?
They've had this issue in Lawrence. They have different
with
regulations.
What kind of dogs in Lawrence?
Well, there's all sorts of breeds in Lawrence, and
What troubles did they have with the number one breed in Lawrence?
Well, I'm sure pit bulls are the biggest issue in Lawrence, but I think I will share the sentiment of most that I've worked with this is it matters not to anybody what animal attacks them. If they get attacked by an animal, a dog, a lab, a shepherd, a Rottweiler, a pit bull, it doesn't really matter. And the law should reflect that it doesn't really matter the breed. If one of your citizens is in danger of an animal that's aggressive, I think you should focus on the generalized aspect of it. Lawrence certainly is well documented to have major pit bull issues, but if this had been the chow that attacked a pit bull, this would be the same exact regulation that I would hope that they would enforce. And I hope that the breed doesn't come into play with that. And it didn't in this situation. It was the act that we focused on.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, let me just
Council Mercier.
finish by saying that this is the way I interpret it now, that your vicious dog just committed something wrong, and this animal shall be banned forever by the animal control officer from within the city limits of Lowell unless the owner pays within 10 days of finding register your dog.
Right.
In other words, what we're saying here is you have a vicious dog, he's against banishing it, but we're going to let you keep that vicious dog here unless you don't pay your money register it within 10 days. Isn't that what I'm interpreting it as? You're going to keep that vicious dog here. He don't want that vicious dog outside of the city, but it's all right that you keep that vicious dog here unless you pay you register it. If you within 10 days register it, and then you can keep that vicious dog in your house. And he's saying, don't send it over to Lawrence or whatever. I don't understand where we're going with this.
Council, I'm a Mercier.
I personally think we ought to give the ordinance a chance to work.
Right.
Before we commit a dog to be killed. And that's what he's suggesting, if I interpret it right. We have an ordinance. It's been supported by people who are involved with dogs. I think we ought to give this a chance to work and revisit it if it isn't working, and consider the alternate that he's put forward if it doesn't work, and not before that.
And I think this mayor and this council and this administration do not want to see a child or an elderly person attacked
Or
by
another
one of these
dog.
vicious dogs.
Or
Or
another
another
dog.
dog, or another animal. So that's where it's coming from. The public hearing is closed. Council Broderick, did you have a question?
I was going to echo Council Armin Mercier's sentiments that I think this is new. We should give it a chance before we have an order in there that we can euthanize someone's animal, find out if it's necessary. I would rather see if we can see how this works before we take more drastic steps. I think that we ought to give it a chance.
The public
No, the
hearing
hearing's closed.
Public hearing is
Right.
closed. And
Move approval of the ordinance as recommended.
Second.
roll call.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Kazandrian.
Yes.
Counselor Lenzi.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Armin Mercier.
Yes.
Counselor Rita Mercier.
Yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Broderick.
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield.
Yes.
9 yeas.
The next article on the public hearing is an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the city of Lowell, Massachusetts, the code providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective. This is the adopting, enacting a new code for the city of Lowell recodification. Anyone who'd like to come to the podium and speak in favor, please come to the podium, give us your name and address. In favor? In favor? In favor? The portion of the public hearing is closed. Those wishing to come to the podium to speak in opposition? 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 Public hearing is closed. What's the wish of the body? Move for approval by Council Broderick, second by Council Elliott. Any discussion, debate on this? Roll call.
Councilor Elliott?
Yes.
Councilor Kazandrian?
Yes.
Councilor Lenzi?
Yes.
Councilor Martin?
Yes.
Councilor Armin Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Rita Mercia?
Yes.
Councilor Milonazo?
Yes.
Councilor Broderick?
Yes.
Mayor Caulfield?
Yes.
9 yeas.
Before you leave, I just wanted to let you
Yeah,
know that the public hearing was closed, and once the speaking portion is over, it's closed. It's now in the hands of the council. We'll see you at
Before
the
you
next
leave,
council meeting.
before you leave, please, can you, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Before they leave, I would suggest that anyone interested in serving on that committee send a letter to the manager.
Yes.
Requesting to be considered, one, and two, that the pit bull ordinance is going to a public safety committee before it's coming to a public hearing, so you might want to attend that subcommittee and provide your input
And-
there before the ordinance.
And there may well be the chance to amend this at that subcommittee meeting.
Yeah. Okay? Thank you for being here. Are there any subcommittee reports? Council Broderick.
Mr. Mayor, this is not a report, but there was a letter in the packet from the city manager about marketing, and a request to have the new marketing firm come into the marketing subcommittee or the council to give us an update as to what the status is of the new marketing plan. So if we could just refer that.
Bring in a motion to refer this to the manager, to the marketing subcommittee?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor of the, seconded by Council Elliott, all in favor of the motion presented by Council Broderick, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries, and Mr. Manager, that will be at your desk. Anything else in subcommittee reports? Petitions. Miscellaneous, Hellenic American Academy, 41 Broadway Street, request address traffic issues on Broadway Street. We refer it to the traffic engineer by Councilor Lindsay, seconded by Councilor Armin Mercier. Attorney James Flood Jr. for Blaisdell Avenue Investment, 1820 Weber Street. Request extension of the R&R district. Referred to the Law Department by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Broderick. And we have two claims, one property damage, one personal injury, referred to the Law Department by Councilor Rita Mercier, seconded by Councilor Bill Martin. I would, the chair would like to ask for a suspension of the rules so we could bring something, motion to suspend the rules by Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Broderick. All in favor of the suspension, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We have a request here from Mammoth Fire Alarms. They're looking to purchase some city-owned property, 45 feet by 200 feet. The gentleman is well-established in the city now. He's a great businessman, and he's expanding on Old Ferry Road. So I would entertain a motion to refer this to the Law Department by Council Rita Mercier, seconded by Council Milonazo, to bring back with a proper vote. Is there anything else to discuss? I was going to say that on behalf, yes, Councilor Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Was it this year that the new boiler was installed in City Hall? It was very warm in here tonight. I had to take my tie off. It was very warm in here tonight. Whew.
I was going to bring that up, Mr. Manager. Many of the employees walking around with their coats on, and is there something wrong with the heating system, or something we can?
We are having problems. We did approve, the council did approve a capital expenditure for a new boiler that has not yet been installed. Our focus during the summer was on the Riley School. So a number of us are very cold in this building, but we're working to solve the problem. It particularly is on the other side of the building most of the time, but the other day the entire building was probably in the mid-50s. So,
Okay.
not Friday.
The chair would like to recognize Council Rita Mercier. Rita?
Oh, I'd just like to wish everyone within earshot a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. And to the Jewish community, a very happy Hanukkah. And to everyone, a very happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. This is the last meeting of the year. We had a very productive year. working with Manager Lynch, the council. I want to thank you personally for your cooperation. It's been a long, tiring year, but we've got through it, and we have a lot more work to do. I think we've come a long way, but there's a lot more work to be done. God bless you, and have a great new year. Thank you. Motion to adjourn by Councilor Broderick, seconded by Councilor Mike Lindsay.
1 year.